Welcome, everyone. I would like to call this Committee of the Whole meeting on September 3rd, Tuesday at 4:00 p.m. to order. Lindsay, may we have roll call, please?
Benajak?
Present.
Bradkey? Here. Nemec? Here. Millette? Here. Herrick?
Here.
Hoyt? Johnson?
Here.
Bigick?
Here.
Quorum present.
Thank you. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there any changes to the agenda? Seeing none, I need approval of the agenda.
I'll move the agenda.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. I need a motion for the minutes of August 6th.
Support.
Is there any corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. At this time is for public input. Anyone wishing to address this committee, please come forward. Write your name and address in the record, and you have 5 minutes.
My name's Mike Bristow. I'm going to do a little educational. This is a picture of how's my waterway. The red is all polluted. The green is not assessed. All available online. This is the 48706 zip code. Kawkawlin River included, all red. This is the thorium site in pollution out on the mouth of the Saginaw River and all of the toxics that are there. Here's the cancer picture. You show how high we are in cancer rates. It's a picture of 2022 from Eagle showing PFAS leaking from the Bangor Township landfill headed toward the greater body of water, which is going to be Tobago Marsh. This is a woman, scientist, worked at 3M in Minnesota. She retired out of there. They tried to convince her that the PFAS wasn't going to hurt anybody. Wrong. I know people that have died from it. Complete article is here. Your forever chemicals, as it's found in the fish, in what you do in promotion. There's a PFAS listing of sites. You'll see Michigan is quite heavy. This is the equivalent. The big one is Michigan. 48 fish a year you can eat. Forever chemical. State cancer rates. When you get into this, it shows enough pictures. You can see where Michigan is at a high, especially Bay County. But we don't have a cancer problem. We do. There's an assessment of cancer clusters, which you can get online. This is from How's My Waterway, updated as 3 of 24. Talks about the Tobago Lagoon. Partial body contact, no. Full body contact, no. No, eat the fish. Here's the Kawkawlin River, same thing. This one here is unique, and I'm sure the chair remembers this one. This is the 1965 report where the DNR went in and made changes at the Tobago Marsh, and they admitted in this file that it probably would flood homeowners, which is why you probably got the high water levels at the Linwood on down. said there had to be a study. Here's the complete study. Just so everybody's aware, we all have to abide by laws. Here's the common law for the State Bar of Michigan, complete. Here's the environmental law section, complete. Spells out your jobs. Here's the environmental law section on water pollution and what you're supposed to be doing. Misuse of position and government resource. Might want to pay attention to that one, as well as this section here, which talks about duties. Other than that, that's all I got. Outside of a video showing that there was a lack of maintenance done by the DNR through the whole time. When I lived out on the bay, I went with my neighbor. He did the talking and I did the videoing. Tom Herrick had a video of it. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Is there anyone else that would like to come to before the committee? See none going once, going twice. Public input is done. Petitions and communications. The Bay County Prosecutor, Law Enforcement Information Network, LEIN, Memorandum of Agreement, MOA with Michigan State Police.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? See none, motion carries. The 911 Central Dispatch, Uninterruptible Power Supply Sealed Bid Release.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any questions?
Yes. Maybe have, talk about the system that we have now and how this will fill in the blanks, I guess.
Yes, sir. So I've been up here a few times talking about the generators and how they interact, and this is kind of that final piece of our comprehensive overhaul here. So UPS kicks in to continue to feed us power after a power outage and before that generator kicks in. And then it also spans that any time where we might have irregular voltage, such as a brownout, things like that, it'll cover that time. This system's pretty old. We budgeted for it, and we're looking for this sealed bid release now. I think it was 2012 when this initial system was installed. We were down to rather, I think 9 minutes of time, which it's just not a lot of time to bridge those gaps, or if there are those voltage regulations, or if we have issues with our generator, and to be able to get to our backup center. So what we're looking to do is replace that and get a minimum of an hour time, preferably 90 minutes if we can do so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? See none, motion carries. C, Directive, Department of Aging. Working agreement with legal services on Eastern Michigan for the 2024 and 2025 year.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any discussion? Yes,
I
Tom.
just want to say that they've been doing this for a number of years now, and that a lot of people don't, a lot of the people in Bay County don't know that the service is available through the Department on Aging. And I don't know, Beth, you just want to talk about just a little bit, because I think it's a great, I tell people about it all the time, because a lot of people can't afford a lawyer, and this is a great way for them to get some legal advice.
So the program is actually through Region 7. Unfortunately, Region 7 has chosen a law firm down in Detroit, so we're not able to do face-to-face with them. It's usually all through mail or online. So I looked for somebody that would be close to home. Our agreement will be that they will provide the services like a will, a durable power of attorney. I'm trying to think what else. Ladybird deeds, quitclaim deeds, things like that. Any other legal services that they can offer. In turn, we would allow them to use our break room to meet with clients and everything. So it's not something we provide. We're just getting a MOU with Eastern Michigan so that we have somebody in town that can meet with clients.
Thank you. Thank you, Beth. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. The Williams Township, Kawkawlin Township, and Hampton Township for the 2025 site agreements.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. Recreation Facilities Director, the Civic Arena fee schedule.
I'll move it.
Support.
Is there any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. The renewal of adult foster care home lease agreements.
So moved. Support.
Is there any discussion on this? Yes, Vaughn?
I think we had some discussion about a new provider coming into what, a couple of the homes.
We have one new provider that is going to be coming in, and so you'll see on the resolution that we actually have 9 homes that we need to re-sign contracts with. One of those homes, what we call the Ireland home, is going to have a little month-to-month agreement to get us to the new provider. So Bay Area Behavioral Health selects the providers through their bid process, and then we lease with, we're the landlord, we lease with the provider for the home, and they're just gonna need about 2 to 3 months to find that provider. So there'll be a short-term lease in addition to the 9 group home leases.
I believe that's the one in Auburn, isn't it, the Ireland?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. Number 3, the reallocation of ARPA funds for recreation capital improvements, $366,337.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any discussion on this?
I guess I'd ask Kristen to
Yes.
explain what you're gonna do
Sure.
with the money.
Yeah, so back in 2022, the board allocated about 1.2 million, give or take a little bit of money, for the ice plant compressor project at the Civic Arena. And we went out for bid. That project is in its completion stages. We have paid our bills and we have some leftover funding. And because that money was intended for recreation capital and essential equipment, we'd like to reallocate the remaining funds to a handful of projects, a very small Wi-Fi project at the Civic Arena, and then equipment, drainage, and parking lot upgrades for the golf course.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I see Dan Nearing just arrived. Maybe he'll want to speak to the issue also, but Kristen and I and Dan had met, and Jeremy LaPratte had met with a handful of golfers out there who, they're elderly, about 80 years old, and they can't really, they need to use the carts to golf. And so when we get a decent rain, a heavy rain, water collects on some of the holes on the back 9. And that, everyone's ecstatic about the progress we've made at the golf course. However, that is one consistent complaint, is that the drainage issue on 2 or 3 of those holes back there. So by transferring this money, I believe during my time as county executive, this will be the first time there's been an infusion of what would be termed general fund or ARP dollars into the golf course. As you know, all of you know, it's self-supporting, it is not subsidized. The only money spent there is what's collected by the golfers and reinvested back into the course. So we could address that issue. It probably, I don't know if Dan could speak to the timetable on when we could do that, but in talking with Jeremy and with Dan, and Kristen is aware, we have a situation where sometimes the equipment is just failing. Its date goes back to 2008, 2009, needs to be replaced, and this would be an excellent use of these ARP dollars to kind of continue the progress we've seen at our Bay County Golf Course. I just want to make that comment, Mr. Chairman. And I'm not sure if you feel it would be appropriate for Dan Nearing to speak to some
Dan,
of
are
the
you willing to
specifics.
come up and give us the report? Sure.
This is my 9th year with the Bay County Golf Course. We've seen significant improvements in the last 9 years. COVID has brought a lot of changes to the game in a good way. There's a lot more people that have started the game of golf. It's brought a lot more people back to the game of golf, and our numbers definitely show that. Jeremy is the superintendent. Unfortunately, he could not be here tonight, but he does spend about 60 to 80% of his time working on old equipment. We currently have a fairway mower down, a rough mower down, and a tee mower down. I did run some numbers. I mean, we average anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 at least per year just in repairs on the equipment that we do have. Any questions?
I had one person ask about the sand traps, and how we bought, you probably don't have the vehicle yet to haul the sand in, but just wondered how.
Correct. So the money was allocated last year for the sand traps to be done this year. One of our workman dump trailer trucks was down. We purchased a new one of those. That will definitely be a fall project. Those will be done. The funds were allocated this year, and they will be done this year.
I never go in the sand, so.
Well, there you go.
Lucky.
Yes, Jim?
Yeah, Dan, how soon can you get this equipment, assuming the money is transferred relatively quickly to the golf course?
I mean, if we get the purchase orders in, I would say for some of the equipment, we should be able to get in 2025. Some equipment does have longer lead times on them, unfortunately, right now. But if we get the purchase orders into the companies by the end of 2024, I think the majority of the equipment that Jeremy needs, we would be able to get next year.
Spring? Are you looking at then addressing the flooding issue another year?
So if I could, so golf course equipment is just taking a really, really long time. It's the industry that we're in at the moment. Everybody's purchasing it, so it's very hard to get. I don't think anybody reliably could say what month we're going to get the equipment in, but the sooner we put the purchase orders in, the sooner we make the orders, the higher up we're going to be on the list, right? And so Dan had mentioned that Jeremy, our very talented superintendent, is spending 60 to 80+% of his time working on equipment. So as soon as we can free him up from being a mechanic, 90% of the time, the more time that he's going to have to work on all of the drainage and all of that kind of stuff. So it will, as soon as we can free up his time with that new equipment.
Well, what we should do is consider pre-owned equipment as well. Because if it's going to be another year, I know how it goes. Say we'll do it this year or next year, and then next year comes and goes, and then you say, we'll do it in the fall, and then fall gets there, and no, we'll do it in the spring, it's too late. So we can't wait 2 years,
Right.
If there's an option to get pre-owned equipment that runs, that's viable, I would suggest, getting some equipment as soon as possible.
And I know
Because I know the golfers have been patient on this flooding issue for quite a while.
Some of Jeremy's reps have been really good with notifying him on any used equipment that they do have, so that has been an option in the past, and we have.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Dan.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. The Director of Administrative Services, the Animal Services.
So move.
Is there any discussion on this one? Yes, Paul?
My granddaughter was out in St. Louis, and they had stopped her coming back from some basketball or something. There's a cow running down the middle of the street, so they have a picture of this cow running down the street, and so I'm sure we could use a trailer to pick up those cows when they're being released or whatever. They do with pigs, and horses too.
Matt, do you want to talk about this?
I think it's a really good thing to be part of. It don't cost us nothing unless we use it. So Midland contacted us about this trailer they had a grant for livestock. And if ever a livestock accident happens, say on our highways in Bay County or anything that can happen in Bay County, they'll bring it to us with their manpower included. And as a community, we'll get the job done, whatever that will be. So it don't cost us one penny unless we have to use it during an accident like that. And then we'll just replace the bandages or whatever equipment we use or break. So it don't cost us a penny unless we need it, but to have that option there in case of emergency for livestock is a great thing to be part of.
Thank you, Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. Finance Officer, the analysis of the general fund equity for 2024.
Motion received.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. And the update regarding Executive Directive 2007-11.
Move to receive.
Support.
Is there any discussion of this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none. And the payables,
I'll move them.
general.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, is there any referrals? Is there any unfinished business? Is there any new business? Amber, is there a need for closed session?
There is not, Mr. Chair.
Is there any miscellaneous? Is there any announcements? Yes.
Not going to announce it again, but there's a POW MIA ceremony on the third Friday of the month, which I think is around the 20th, at the helicopter on Reddit at 7 o'clock, about a half an hour ceremony. Everybody's invited.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Jamie.
All right, so the Lady Dukes volleyball, their team was the Bay County champions recently. It's their 5th time, so that was pretty outstanding. They have an amazing program there. My daughter participated in 9th and 10th grade, and they just do some great stuff. And also this Friday, 4 to 7 p.m., I know I announced it previously, but it's Eskisville Hampton Public Schools has their Back on the Block party. Like I said, begins 4 to 7 p.m. It's free, it's outdoors, it's at Garber, and the varsity football game is immediately to follow. So lots of fun, food, and activities for families.
Thank you. Anyone else? Tom?
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.
No special meeting.